Hello everyone, this is Karan Rawat and I welcome you all on today's lecture. So this will be the next lecture of WTIR playlist that is going on. I hope you are enjoying these lectures, and if you have any query, any suggestion, please let me know in the comment section. If you need any suggestions from my end, like if you want me to explain in Hindi, or if you want me to explain in Hindi like this, so just tell me each and every feedback so that I can improve at the my end, and I can deliver you the best content and best crystal clear understanding of the concept. Okay, so that you can understand easily and you can get the knowledge and you can also get the good marks in your exam. So yeah, today's lecture we are starting the another concept. In previous lecture we have discussed about the architecture and working of the search engine, and in today's lecture we are going to discuss the most important thing, and you can say the thing that you should know even if you are not studying this subject. So let's start. So our today's topic is robots.txt. We will discuss about this, and then we will discuss web server. Then and there are some examples, and we also discuss what is this proxy and all that. So just starting with robots.txt. So robots, robots, robots.txt. Here txt is basically the extension, and this stands for txt stands for text. So this robots.txt is basically a file, you can say. Okay, and with the txt is its extension, so you can say that this is a text file. Okay, so this is clear that this is the text file named robots.txt because this has the extension of txt. So that is clear to you. Now what is basically this, what is basically it is, and what is its functioning and all that. So please understand it. Basically this you need to understand, because if you are a web developer or a kind of developer, so you should also, or if you are surfing web, so you should know about this robots.txt file. So basically this file is basically search the search engine, that to which pages it should go or to which pages it should not go. Like if you don't get, okay, now I'm making it clear to in easy language. You know what is crawler? I told you in the previous video. If you have not watched the previous video, so just please go to the playlist of WTIR and just please watch the previous lecture so that you can get the clear understanding of all the concepts, crawler, crawling and all that. Okay, and I also told you the working of search engine, that how this Google and each and every search engine basically works. I told you the scenes behind what happened. Okay, so this basically robots.txt file, basically this tells the search engine that where they can and can't go on your site. Basically what happened, you basically host your website and all that. Just read the definition again, then you will get a clear understanding. If we want some pages of our website should not be crawled by the crawler, then we can tell it in robots.txt file. Basically what happen, if we want some pages or a website that should not be crawled, that should be not crawled by the crawler. See, I told you about the crawler and how this crawled the web pages and all that in previous lectures. So if you have not seen, just go and just seen the previous lecture. Crawler is basically also known as spider. It basically what it does is basically it basically crawls the web pages and just fetch the information or data from these web pages. So in robots.txt file we are just providing the information to the crawler that just don't crawl these pages on our website. Okay, like if we hosting our website onto the web, so in robots.txt we will provide some pages of our website that should not be crawled by the crawler. Okay, then we can tell it in robots.txt file. What happen now, what will happen in real, that you have provided robots.txt file and you have mentioned the pages in your this robots.txt file, that these pages should be private and the crawler should not crawl them. So what basically you will do, you just put the pages, the information in your robots.txt, that crawler just don't go to these web pages, just don't crawl these web pages, just don't fetch the data from these web pages, these particular web pages. Okay, they can be your private pages, or they can be pages on which you don't want that any other person or user can watch these details and all that. So you just provide it basically in the robots.txt file. So what happened now, crawler will basically when come here to just fetch the data, or just it came to your website, so it basically see first it will go to the robots.txt file just to see that if there are some pages where where I not allowed it to crawl. Okay, so that crawler will basically first go to the robots.txt file just to see the pages where the crawler is, you can say, uh, not allowed it to go or not allowed it to crawl those pages. Okay, so this is basically robots.txt file that contains the, or you can say this is the file where we tell the search engine that these pages should not be crawled by the crawler. Okay, we will put those pages into robots.txt file, or we'll put the information related to that. So basically what happened, crawler when coming to your website to crawl that, so it basically first step of the crawler is just go to the robots.txt file and to know that to how many pages the crawler is going to crawl, and what are the restriction to it, that how many pages are private that crawler is not going to crawl. Okay, so this is basically the robots.txt file that basically tells the crawler to which pages it should crawl or to which pages it should not crawl. Okay, so this is basically about robots.txt file. Now a question occur in your mind that why we don't want to crawl some pages. Okay, why we don't want, because we have seen in our previous lecture that crawler is basically crawling the web pages so that it can basically help the search engine to make an index, and what happen after making the index, the search engine functionality will be supported by the crawler. How it will be supported, like if a user came onto the search engine, and if he and she is putting any query there, so if crawler has matched that particular keyword, or you can say a query in any of the web page, and the crawler will basically provide that web page or that web content to that user. Okay, so why we don't want that or crawler, that a crawler that is present on the web, that it should not crawl some pages, why we want? Okay, so answer is those pages which are not important to crawl. Okay, so there are some pages which are not important to crawl, so why we allow the crawler just to waste its time to crawl the web pages? And see, the next point is very much important, because crawler arrives at a website with predetermined allowance time, so crawler should not waste its time to crawl the unnecessary page. See, I made these handwritten notes by myself, and I have invested a lot of time, lot of thinking, lot of research, lot of resources, lot of my energy, lot of my time in making these notes. So these are very much important notes, and I think these are also written in very layman language that you can understand them easily, in depth you can understand, and in crystal clear you can understand basically. So I'm providing these notes to you in the description box. If you do not get, just comment down, I'll basically definitely provide you. And you can also connect me on LinkedIn, there I will also provide you if you want. Okay, so we have seen the answer that why we don't want crawler, because crawler arrives at our website with some predetermined time or allowance. Okay, so crawler basically just came to our website to crawl it, so it just have a small amount of time because it was predetermined. So crawler has a fixed amount of time to crawl our website. So we don't want that if a crawler is having a less amount of time, so why it should waste your time in just crawling the unuseful pages. So that's why we will allow crawler to just crawl the useful pages or important pages, and just basically leave the unnecessary pages and those pages which are not important to crawl. Okay, so this is about robots.txt, and we have discussed this question that why do we want to crawl some pages. This question is not important to your exam, but yeah, this question is very much important to your basic understanding, that why we have want that crawler should not crawl some pages. So I told you that crawler came to your website to crawl, so it has some predetermined allowance and time. So that's why we don't want crawler just to waste its time to unnecessary pages, or you can say unimportant pages, less important pages you can say. So this we have seen about Robots.txt. Now let's move to the web server. So web server is basically, uh, maybe you know it earlier. Web server is basically a computer system that hosts the website, and that computer system should be connected to the. So basically web server is a kind of computer system that basically hosts a particular website. Okay, so just leave the web server, you just take a particular computer system, just leave web server, just don't think that web server is kind of terminology, no, just leave it. Okay, just leave it. Web server, you don't know web server, okay, no problem. So just leave the web server. Now just here, from here, start reading this definition and start understanding. A computer system that hosts the websites, and that computer system should be connected to the internet, and that particular computer system we say web server. So I told you na, a computer system that basically hosts our website, and that computer system is basically connected to the internet. And now we are saying that computer system is basically nothing or our web server. So that web server is basically nothing our computer system, or computer system is nothing but a web server. Okay, so our computer system that basically hosting the websites, so that computer should also be connected to the internet. So that is simply a web server. Now you here can see a, this simple diagram that we have client, you can say user. Okay, and what he is doing, what he she is doing, he or she is just putting the request, that is a HTTP request, hypertext transfer protocol, you know, basically. Okay, so he and she is just basically putting a request can request, like if he or she can putting a query keyword or anything, so they are putting a request. Now web server will provide the answer, because basically it contains the lot of data, lot of information and all that. But if this do not have the data or information, that will further do the request to the application server, and that request will be in the servlet request. Okay, so that will again do the request to the application server, and then application server basically provide the servlet response to the web server, and then web server will basically retransmit the HTTP response to the client. So what happened, this is basically, you can say, all the client server architecture. This is the client server architecture. See, because where client is just requesting, sending the request to the web server, then web server, after getting the result, it is responding to the client. So this is basically a web client server. Okay, this can be asked in your exam, that just draw the web client server. So basically you need to explain it in the depth. I have not explained it in the depth, but yeah, you should explain it into the points for getting the marks. So this is the web server, and I told you the diagram also. Now there are some examples of web server, like you have Apache HTTP server, that is mostly or commonly used. Okay, next, second is you are having IIS, that is Internet Information Services. It is a kind of another web server, that basically a computer system that hosts our websites, and it is always connected to the internet. Okay, and I also told you this web client server, this is very much important. This can be asked in your exam, that tell the web client server and all that. And this is very much important, like web client server is very much important, you should know it. This can be asked in your exam or in your journal life also, if you are a technical student, computer science student, BCA MCA student and all that. So yeah, we have seen the examples you should also know. So we have also seen the examples. Now coming to the next topic, that is proxy. We are going to discuss what is this proxy. So proxy basically, if you are going to search its meaning on the internet, so you will find that proxy means the representing someone. Proxy means representing someone, so acting on behalf of someone. Example, we say proxy lagwa dena in college. Yeah, I have written it in a very funny language, like proxy we always say in college, proxy लगवा देना यार, proxy लगवा देना भाई मेरी, मैं जा रहा हूँ यार, proxy लगवा देना, देख लेना, ठीक है. तो proxy लगवा देना basically attendance लगवा देना, like representing on the behalf of someone. Okay, so that is representing someone is kind of proxy. Okay, it is basically in daily life, or just for understanding we are making these examples. Okay, but in technical thing we will discuss it. So here I have written the uses of IIS, that is Internet Information Service. So you just read out. This is very much simple. That is used to host website, okay, or web app and handle HTTP request and all that. Also used by developers to test the web applications. It also used to provide secure communication, that is SSL, that is secure socket layer certificate and all that. Okay, so yeah, we are on proxy. You can read this example that uses very easy. So yeah, we have just seen the proxy in a journal term or a daily life example, that proxy log in representing someone on the behalf of someone. Okay, so now what is its meaning basically? Proxy server is basically also known as WW proxy, or you can say a web proxy, or simply a proxy. Okay, so it has three names: WW proxy, web proxy, and proxy. So what is this proxy server basically? So proxy server, what it does, it basically hides our IP address so that we can also access the blocked website, because by using proxy server we are not accessing the blocked sites but our IP address, but are with our IP address, but we are accessing them with the proxy server's IP address. See, what is this? Proxy server, what it basically does, if we are using a proxy server, proxy, I told you earlier that basically representing someone. Okay, so proxy servers basically hides the IP address. It's basically hide your IP address. If you are using a proxy server, it basically hides your IP address. Now what happen, you can correlate it with your real life example, if there is a kind of war situation, or like if there is kind of any terror attack or anything. So what happen, a government blocks few website to a particular area. Okay, to particular area, that government basically blocks some website. Now what happen, government has the IP address and all that, like government agencies have. So what they basically do, they basically just having the IP addresses, so they block just for that particular uh, IP address to went to the website, to went to that particular website that government has blocked. Now with your IP address, if you are located in that state or that country where government has blocked a particular website, so with your IP address you cannot enter, or you cannot access that blocked website that was blocked by the government. So what happened, you will you will use the proxy server at that time. Like, it is illegal basically, you just don't use it. I'm just telling you the use of proxy server. So what happened, now by using proxy server we can access that blocked website. And how? Because we are not accessing that blocked website with our IP address, because we can't access, government is blocked, so we cannot access that blocked website with our IP address. But yeah, we are accessing that with the proxy server's IP address. Okay, what happen if you are using a proxy server, so that will provide you a particular IP address. Okay, if you are using, so now you can easily access that blocked website with the help of a proxy server's IP address, because you are using proxy server and proxy server gave you a uh, particular IP address. Okay, so with the help of that you can access that blocked website. But yeah, if it is illegal, like, just don't do any illegal thing. Okay, my concern is this only. Next is, it is used to improve performance and security of web access. So the work of proxy server is basically used to improve the performance and security of web access. Yeah, see, everything has some pros and cons. Okay, so another point is, it acts as an intermediate between the user and the internet. I told you that it acts as an intermediate, that you are using its IP address just to access the websites that are blocked, that you cannot access with your personal IP address. Okay, so it basically acting as an intermediate. It is also like a computer system that has own its server. Okay, so it is also like a computer system that has its own server. It is basically a simple point, no need to explain it. Next, that is very much important, it has its own cache memory. See, it has its own cache memory. Cache memory means, like, cache memory, you know, the memory which has a very less space. Okay, and that basically it is also there in your mobile phones and all that, that basically stores your recent actions and all that. Okay, that has this cache memory has a very less size. This basically your continuous actions is basically stores your continuous action, or the things which you are using continuously, regularly and all that. Okay, so that proxy servers basically have their own cache server. Now there are some benefits that it provides security, it increases the speed, it also saves the bandwidth, okay, and it also provides authentication. Next is fifth is surf log. Surf log means like we can also keep records of the surfing. Surfing basically, you know, surfing. If you are using internet, you are just surfing a Facebook, surfing Google, or you are surfing reels, you are surfing on YouTube shorts. So that is basically surfing. So surf log is the another benefit. Next is we can also access the blog website. I told you it earlier. Okay. So these are some benefits of this proxy server. You can read them on easily with the help of these notes. These like simple notes. You can say simple handwritten notes. So this is all about this video. In next lecture we will discuss about VPN and proxy. We will discuss the difference between them, and really you will get some amazing points, or you will have a crystal clear understanding that what is VPN, that is different to proxy and all that. For this lecture it is enough, I think. If you have any query or any suggestions, please let me know in the comment section. Till then, thank you for this lecture, and in comment section or LinkedIn you can reach out to me. There I can provide you the notes, or if you have any question I can help you out. Thank you.